He welcomed Hearts to Dens Park with high hopes of a clean sweep of victories over the Tynecastle men this season. Hearts went into this game without a win in the previous 9 matches, and the pressure on Jim Jeffries now beginning to mount, although to be fair, his predicament at the club has a sympathy of the travelling support, for the moment at least. As has been the case so often this season, Hearts started well, with Dave McPherson almost getting the opener. Dundee boss Jockey Scott warned his players about the opening 20 minutes of expected pressure from the capital side. The plan to keep Hearts at bay within that period seemed to be going well. Hearts have failed to score a goal this year in the league, and Gary McSwiggan's efforts summed up the problems. Amazingly, Dundee failed to mount any real challenge to the opposition goal in the first half. Vincent Guerin next in line to squander another chance. The spirit in the Dundee camp is positive. In contrast, Hearts have never been able to come back from going a goal down to win a match. Jim Jeffries believes his side are trying to play too much football at a time when hard graft and battling qualities are needed. The perfect example coming shortly from Dundee into the second half of this game. The long through ball from Barry Smith, and Eddie Annan catches the Hearts defence out. The finish is supreme. The Dundee striker said afterwards, albeit rather modestly, that Rousse's positioning made it easy for him to opt for the chip. But to his credit, the execution still had to be precise. Dundee now crucially 1-0 ahead. In the 65th minute of this match, the roof fell in on Hearts' hopes of snatching something. And again the tormentor to make it 2-0. Although rather worryingly, the striker kisses his jersey. Does this mean a transfer request is imminent? Questions will surely be asked of the Hearts defending of the set piece. Anand had a free header, and on reflection, 7 Hearts players were unable to contain 3 blue shirts in the 6-yard box. The home support clearly delighted, and despite all 3 subs being called into action, the writing was on the wall for Hearts, with Dundee set to claim all 12 points from their encounters this season. Hearts tried in vain to salvage some pride with a consolation goal in this game, but like many of his predecessors in the striking role, Andy Kirk's effort was off target. Hearts defeated, and big problems for Jim Jeffries' side as they hit rock bottom in the Premier League with little money and no sign of a spark of inspiration in a deflated squad. A scapegoat will have to be found sooner or later. Jeffries has a sympathy vote, but the fans' anger at Chairman Chris Robinson will no doubt escalate to involve other culprits if things don't improve, and soon. Dundee 2-0 winners at Dens Park.
We need another 3 or 4 points, I say. As I say, it's a massive result. We had to win that today, and as the team's below have won and 2 points, so I think we'll be safe.
You're bottom of the table. You need battlers now.
I'll tell them. I don't think on today, ability-wise, you could see on the day that Dundee weren't any better than Hearts and ability-wise. What Dundee are doing, like the rest of them down there, is you roll up the sleeves and you battle and you fight and you scratch for everything and you take your chances. You hope to get a couple of chances coming your way. We're making it easy for the other teams. We're giving them chances, but I don't think we're matching them where it really matters, when you really need a bit of heart to roll up the sleeves. We're trying to play our way out of it, and you really need to battle and scratch for everything when you're down there. And we've got ourselves, as I say, in trouble now for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We're really in trouble, and we've got to battle through it.
Off the field, has any of that affected the players, the bad publicity that's going with regards to the injection of cash from Mr Di Stefano?
Well, I keep saying no, it's not affecting us, but it's difficult to, unless the players say to you this is affecting us or it's affecting them individually, you don't really know. But I don't think it should affect us. I keep telling the players that we've got our job to do, which is to amass enough points. And then it's up to, and that puts pressure on the directors then to make sure the stands are done.
Yeah, we'll talk about Hearts in a moment, but Stuart, credit to Dundee for an excellent victory.
Nice to see Jockey's happy with that victory. I'm glad to see nothing's changed. No, I think people, myself included, I've written Dundee off so many times this season. A bad result last week against Dunfermline, one they really had to take something out of. And then they've bounced back with another great win against Hearts, and I don't think people give Dundee enough credit to what they've achieved in the Premier League this year. Yeah,
they're very big in the Belgrade press these days, Ron, but they seem to be playing football as well. Credit to them.
They do, and they're battling well. Although I don't quite buy Jim Jeffries' argument. He seems to be passing the blame to his players.
Do you agree with that, Stuart?
Being in that circumstances before, I think there is a lot to do with you need to get Bartlett's people committed who want to go out there and win every week. And I think the problem at Hearts is they seem to have a lot of players on short-term contracts, and I don't think that's good for the team at all.
Yeah, well, let's show Jim the 2 goals again, and let's see what I wonder what he thinks of his defence here. Stuart, what did you make of it?
Well, it was just a hopeful punt forward, caught square, and Rousse's positioning was pretty bad there, I thought, because the defender was getting back to make the challenge, and Rousseau made it easy, as Annan said, made it easy for him off his line, simple chip over his head.
And the second one, Peter was making the point in his report there that there were so many Hearts bodies in the box, and Dundee still managed to score.
Well, if you look there's only about, 3 Dundee players there surrounded by Hearts, and it's just a case of ball watching. I think the initial header was headed away there, and everybody was ball watching, caught napping, and stuck it away.
Ron, getting back to Hearts, is Chris Robinson a convenient scapegoat for the fans?
Well, he's making it easy for the fans, isn't he? He's awarding himself £75,000 a year when his club are in free fall, it appears.
But surely it's the players who should be doing it.
Well, of course the players should be doing it, but I wonder how unsettled they are. I mean, earlier in the season, well, a few weeks back, Jim Jeffries seemed to be indicating that he was off if there wasn't money for players. Nothing's happened. He hasn't had the cash. And I think the whole atmosphere in the club must be pretty bad.